We're now going to create a new Time Magazine cover. We're going to navigate and open up the folder, Time Magazine cover, and then we're going to be opening up the Photoshop class project template. And you can see we have some assets in here. The template is already assembled. So when we open that up, now we see our template that is sitting here. And the template has three parts to it. It has the logo, it has the border, and it has a text box. And what we've done is we've set this text here to emulate what it might look like on a cover using Franklin Gothic. We've set a couple of settings here. We've manipulated the tracking, and you'll notice that it's at -50, and that's kind of a signature of the typography and the time. We're going to create two types of covers. One is going to have the masthead in front of the image, and then the next one is going to have the masthead sandwiched between the background. And we're going to do place embedded. And what that's going to do is it's going to just embed the graphic in here. It's going to come in as a smart graphic. So that means that we're going to have to rasterize it if we want to do something to it. So we go in here, and I'm going to grab the Michelle Obama at the DNC. I'm going to hit place. And now that image comes in. And I've made sure that this image has enough resolution to be scaled. So we want to make sure we have like at least 3,000 by 3,000 pixels if we're bringing something in that would be horizontal like this that we would need to scale. So we're going to grab the corner, and we're going to scale this up. And again, I have to grab the corner, and it's okay if this goes up and over, and you'll notice that it's actually bigger than the page, but that's okay because we're going to be putting it inside of this frame. Now, we don't want to crop this. We're going to leave this way so that we have the ability to kind of move this around and position it. And I have these two guides here to show where the masthead is going to be, so I kind of know where her head is going to be in relationship to the time masthead. And when I'm done, I'm going to hit return. Now, you'll notice that as we zoom in, we don't see the time border and logo. So what we need to do is we need to simply take the image, and we're going to drag it down all the way. And now once we do that, we have the image behind the headline and the other elements. Now, before we put in any copy and we do anything here, the logo doesn't have great contrast. So we're going to go on the logo, and we're going to go down. I'm going to pull this layers palette out just to make it easier to see. And in the layers palette, we move this over. We're going to go into the time logo, and we're going to go to the effects drop down, and we're going to go to color overlay. This will allow us to do a color overlay, and I'm going to go with white. Don't add any shadows. Don't add anything else but color overlay. We click OK. And now, as we look, if we get rid of the guides, here's what we have so far. And we can simply go into the box, and we can type a new headline. Okay, and this can be positioned different spot. It actually fits nicely right there. Now, right now we've got a situation where the image is completely behind the logo, and in Photoshop, it allows us to cut out pixels. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go in, and we're going to cut out a piece of the head so that we can create the effect that the logo is behind her head but in front of the background. So what we need to do is we need to go to the time logo and we need to lock that. We don't want anything to happen to that. And now we're going to go on to the image, and what we need to do is we need to rasterize the layer. So we hit rasterize layer, and that will get rid of this little smart layer icon, and now we'll be able to cut pixels out and do anything we want. And we're just going to go over and we're going to grab the lasso tool. We're going to zoom in. And what we want to do is we want to cut out her head as close to the logo as possible, because otherwise it's going to leave a gap and it isn't going to look right. So what we'll do is we'll go on the logo, the opacity. We're going to pull the opacity all the way down. Not the fill. We'll leave that at 100. And then we'll just go back and we'll lock this. Once we have this locked, we're going to go back to this layer with the image. And now I basically have to go from right here. We have to take this piece and we have to overlay it. So we're going to start here. So I'm going to work around here with the lasso tool, and what I want to do is I want to click on the lasso tool. I want to make sure I'm on that layer, and I'm just going to start to drag, and then I'm going to immediately hold the Option key, and by doing that it gives me a rubber band, and the Option key is the Alt key on a Windows keyboard, Option on Mac, and we are just going to work our way around, and we want to get close to her head. We don't want to leave any space, and we don't have to worry about that kind of hair that's kind of flying away there. That's okay. We want to work all the way around, and we have to make sure that we get anywhere that her head overlaps with the logo. So we're going. And now we go across, and we're going to work our way back up here. And you see what we're doing here? We're just kind of cutting out that piece. So now that I have that piece, I can go into quick mask mode. I can see if I've left any area here, which if I did, I can kind of clean that up with a brush. So I'm just going to go to a brush tool, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm just going to kind of clean this edge a little bit. And again, I'm just using a soft brush. I can just go in, and I just don't want a halo in front. So we want to make sure we grab area with the hair. I messed that up. I'll Control Z it. And we'll just kind of go through here. And now I'll look and see if there's any other areas that I kind of missed. Looks okay. Let's clean this up a little bit. And now we can see the piece right there that we're going to cut out and we're going to place on top. So I'm going to get out of quick mask mode. I'm in selection mode. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edit, Copy. And then I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to just name this layer Piece. And then from there, I'm going to go up to Edit. And I want to go to Paste Special because I want to paste in place. And when I do that, I'm going to have the piece of the head there. And now what I can do is I can simply drag this up to create a sandwich. So I'm going to drag it in front of the Time logo. And now when we zoom out, what we have is we have the background, we have her head, and it looks pretty seamless. And it's basically this little piece. Okay, and the Time logo actually, with the lowered opacity, is okay. They've done that before. But if we were going to unlock this and we were going to put this back up, here's how it would look. And that's how you would insert these pieces in. When you're all done, you'd want to simply save this out for print, going to Image Mode, CMYK Color. If you're going to use it for the screen or for a web portfolio, keep it as RGB color. And then you would just do File, Save As. And you can save it as a TIFF file for print. Or you could save it as a JPEG file for the web or the screen. And that's how you create a Time magazine cover and create images in a couple of ways. So first we have the image behind the logo, and then we have the logo sandwiched in between the background of the photo and the subject in the foreground of the photo.